quick, tell me about your pipeline. Not your funnel, not your email list, but your real pipeline of people who have already decided they want to work with you. Because somewhere along the way, especially in the coaching industry, the conversations got completely distorted. You've probably heard this advice: remove every obstacle between someone seeing you and saying yes to you. But when you look at how business work in any other industry, that idea just kind of falls apart, doesn't it? You have to audience build. You have to have a customer journey. You have to have pipelines. These are normal stages of business. They're not obstacles. And yet, online coaches and service providers today are being told to skip all of that. They have been telling us every post should sell, every appearance should pitch, every piece of content should convert. Just invite people to a webinar, have them show up, and close high ticket offers immediately. Now, I'm going to say this plainly, that's bullshit. At least now in 2026. It used to work. I'm not going to tell you. But markets have evolved. Buyer behaviors have evolved. Buyers are gotten smarter. And if you're still operating like it's 2020, you're going to feel like nothing is working anymore. You should probably be feeling that right now. Which brings us back to something the business world desperately needs to dust off: the pipeline. But before we go any further, if we have not met yet, my name is Alicia Ford. I am a business automation strategist. My agency has built over 136 funnels and automations from scratch and has optimized over 50 different automations for 6 and 7-figure brands. What a pipeline actually is. Let's start with the simplest definition. A pipeline is a pool of people who have raised their hand to say, I want to work with you. Not, I really like your content. Not, I'm interested in your topic. Not, I enjoy following you. Not, I really enjoy your vibe. But specifically, I want to hear about your offer. That distinction matters more than most entrepreneurs realize, because liking your content and buying from you are two different things. Now, you're a seasoned pro at this. You know this. But when it comes to your funnels, when it comes to your automations, why doesn't it look like that? Someone can watch your videos, read your posts, join your email list, and still have no intentions of becoming a client, because that's not a pipeline anymore. That's an audience. A pipeline is different. A pipeline is where people signal buying intent. A pipeline is where people signal buying intent. And if you and I were working together, this is where you and I would start and build up the strategic infrastructure, automations, and funnels around it. And this is what I help clients build inside of my Anointed Automations Academy. Interest versus buying intent. This is where entrepreneurs get confused. They assume that if someone follows them, subscribes to their list, watches their content, that person is automatically a potential buyer. But those actions only show interest in your topic. So again, I know that you are a seasoned vet. So why am I talking to you like you're a beginner? Because boo boo baby bear. The reason why I have to stress this, even at the level that you're at, is because you're not paying attention to the fact that the market has changed. You're still building the same way. You're still showing up the same way. And you're wondering why it feels like you're having to put in more effort to get the results that you used to get. Or worse, you're doing more and still getting the least results that you've ever gotten ever. You've seen a dramatic drop in your income. You've seen a dramatic slowdown in people reaching out to you, DMing you, emailing you, knocking on your door, joining your wait list. There is a change, but you're still not ready to admit it. But that's what this video is for. So again, those actions no longer show interest in your offer. A pipeline exists when someone takes a step that clearly communicates, I want to explore working with you. Pipelines used to be easier. There was a time when pipelines formed almost automatically. You could mention a program, tease a launch, open a wait list, and suddenly there was dozens of people ready to hear more, girl. They was like, me, 30 people, 50 people, sometimes 100 people ready for pre-sale. It used to work. But the environment has changed dramatically. There are more sellers, more offers, more noise. Everyone is launching something. Everyone has a newsletter. Everyone has a wait list. Everybody's doing a webinar or a challenge. So the same signals that once indicated buying intent doesn't always mean the same thing anymore. For example, email list. There was a time when your email list was your pipeline, but today, not so much. Because your favorite restaurant has an email list. Your favorite hairstylist has an email list. Every brand you shop at has an email list. Most people receive dozens of emails every single day, which means someone can join your email list and never open a single email. That didn't happen the same way years ago, but it happens consistently now. So does that mean the email list is dead? Of course not. But it does mean you have to operate with far more intentionality because the problem isn't competition. The problem is noise. So let me give you a real example from one of my clients. She generated leads primarily through conferences. So she would attend events, speak with potential clients, explain her services, collect their email addresses. So in her mind, they were pre-sold, but I had to tell her, girl, no, they're not. They are pre-interested. So we built this funnel that nurtures leads and segments them. We encourage them to book a call. Depending on who they are and what their interests were, we had them in different segmentations. Her process looks something like attend conference, collect leads, send them through the email funnel, encourage them to book a call, sales team follow-ups, call gets booked, closer provides a quote, and then a follow-up continues until a contract is signed because she's working with government contracts. Now, here's the important question. Where is the pipeline? I want you to tell me, based on the steps that I just gave you, can you spot the pipeline? I'll wait. Most people would say the email list or the funnel, but neither one of those are the pipeline. The pipeline was the moment someone requested a quote or booked a call to discuss the service. Her book of calls were the pipeline. Because in her industry, no one buys immediately because multiple stakeholders are involved. Budgets must be approved. Once a quote was created, that prospect entered a pool of real potential buyers. That pool of people considering the proposals, that was the pipeline. So people that she's had a call with was the pipeline. The bait and switch call problem. This also explains why so many discovery calls have dramatically slowed down in converting. Many entrepreneurs use calls to bait. They offer free strategy sessions, free audits, free coaching calls, but the person didn't book the call to hear about your offer. They booked the call to get the free value. Hello? So the intention is misaligned from the very beginning. That's why conversion rates on those calls have dropped. And people never entered the pipeline with a buying intent. They entered looking for free help. And we did it. Funnels alone won't save you. This conversation matters to me personally because my entire field revolves around funnels and automations. Yes, we can build funnels, sales funnels, challenge funnels, case study funnels, digital products funnels, book a call funnels. We can build automations, lead scoring, onboard sequences, nurture campaign, all of it. But if none of those systems are feeding a real pipeline of buyers, then all you built is just a lot of activity without a real center. A pipeline is what organizes everything. It tells you where your buyers actually exist. It tells you where your offers should focus. It tells you where your marketing should point. Without that, entrepreneurs end up chasing conversion randomly. If you are realizing that your business doesn't actually have a pipeline yet, I've created something to help. Inside of Anointed Automations Academy, you're going to find a resource called 40 Ways to Optimize Your Current Automation. It walks you through practical ways to install automations inside your business that help you identify buying intent, move people towards your offers, build a real pipeline instead of relying on random conversations. You can join the Academy for free and start implementing immediately. Link is in the description. So here's the bottom line. Funnels matter. Automations matter. Email lists matter. But none of those things come first. The pipeline comes first because the pipeline tells you something very critical. Where your buyers actually are. Not the people who like your content, not the people who follow your page, not the people who casually consume what you teach, but the people who have intentionally raised their hand and said, I want to know how to work with you. That's the difference between having an audience and having a pipeline. And once you identify that pool of people, everything else in your business becomes much, much clearer. Your marketing has direction, your funnels have a purpose, your automations have a job to do. Without that, you're just building systems and hoping they actually produce sales. With a real pipeline, you're building infrastructure around actual buying intent, which gives you a whole different vibe. And that changes everything. So if you want to go deeper on how pipelines connect directly to your revenue, I want you to watch this next video where I break down 7 funnels that consistently generate serious cash in today's market. Because once you understand where your pipeline lives, funnels finally start making a whole lot of sense for you. I'll see you in the next video.